Welcome back to the Axians Network live here at IPExpo in Manchester 2019. Our second guest today, and I suspect a little bit tired, is James Albergés, who's General Manager Network and Communications at Zen Internet. Welcome to you, James.
Welcome, James.
Thank you very much.
Before we get to the business, congratulations on your new arrival.
Thank you very much.
So a heady mix of overwhelming excitement and extreme exhaustion, which I could be describing our warehouse clubbing days there, but congratulations, James.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, it's I suppose it's a bit like warehouse clubbing, but with a lot more kids' TV and a few less bright lights. But yeah, no, thank you very much.
Less space.
Yeah.
So, for people who haven't heard of Zen Internet, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, sure. So we were founded in 1995, so 23 years old now, and really we've grown organically since then to a point where we're now about £70 million revenue per annum, and we're sort of getting towards 500 employees. We serve across consumers, across businesses, and we also have channel and wholesale division. And really across all those divisions, we focus on the service that we provide to those customers. And for example, within consumer, we've just won the Which recommended broadband provider, so sort of testament to that focus on service. So we're all very proud of that at the moment.
and so you should be. Your particular division, James.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about what you do.
Yeah, sure. So as you say, I'm the general manager for networks and communications, and I work within the business division. So we have about 1,500 customers, and I'd say they vary quite a lot in terms of the size, in terms of the verticals, in terms of the sorts of solutions that they buy from us. The sort of solutions we provide, it's around connectivity, so you sort of standard Ethernet, broadband type services, around networking, so the traditional IPVPN type services, and increasingly software-defined services. We also provide cloud, so we work with AWS. We also have our own Zen Cloud proposition, and increasingly we're working with Microsoft Azure. And I suppose the final sort of element of our portfolio is around contact and collaboration, so your traditional WLR type services, but also SIP and increasingly hosted voice. So a whole range of different services across.
And I know you guys have been really successful in the last couple of years. We've watched you grow as one of our customers, and I think what always strikes me when I'm looking at what you guys do is the fact that it's all about service and your customers. That comes through really strongly when we're working with you. It's about making sure that your customers receive the very best service, and that's what your reputation is built on in the marketplace.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. When we look at providing new solutions, I know we're probably going to get onto that in a sec, we absolutely put the customers at the heart, genuinely put the customers at the heart of that, and I think it pays dividends as you start to provide those solutions and as you start to support those customers once they take those solutions.
What you were saying is that many talk about being customer-centric. Zen actually demonstrate action and are that company. You were talking earlier about your portfolio. And as I understand that you're currently developing your portfolio, so you can tell me a little bit more about what you're doing there, the investments that you're making, James.
Yeah, sure. So we're doing a lot of development around SD-WAN. We definitely see some really key use cases for our customers around SD-WAN. We're also working on 4G rapid site deployment, because again, for a lot of our customers, that's a really great addition to their service. We're working on developing more Azure type services. I think I mentioned that previously. And I suppose the other thing we're doing, which isn't so much about a new service, but it also sort of underpins those services, we're investing in our network footprint. Yeah. We already have one of the largest independent networks in the UK, and actually we're complementing that because we think it works really well for us and our customers. And I suppose the message across all of that is that it's partly about driving adoption of the cloud, more and more organisations moving to the cloud, and I think those range of services support that. And it's also, I'd say, it fits quite nicely with digital transformation, although I do think digital transformation is a sort of overly used term these days. But generally, I think if you sort of encompass the range of things that we're doing, there's a good fit there.
And I know we've talked, and you said that your cloud business has grown significantly over the last year or 18 months, and I guess now you're in a position where you're rolling out cloud solutions, but people need to connect to that cloud. They need user experience on that cloud. They need to access applications. So it does all go together, doesn't it? Cloud.
It does.
And you mentioned cloud as being a key driver for new technologies such as SD-WAN, but I'm going to ask you, are there any others that are driving this?
Yeah. I think cloud is probably one of the key drivers. Yeah. I think application performance, whether that's on the cloud or hosted elsewhere, is key. I think visibility. Customers want more and more visibility. They want to understand how their solutions are performing. And actually, I think generally they have higher expectations of service providers than they have previously. And I think things like SD-WAN are an enabler to provide that higher level of service and actually add more value to customers.
We were just talking to Chris from Versa about the service provider world, and he was saying he's seen a move, a maturity, if you like, in a managed service, more of an MPLS managed service, which is very closed, where typically a customer doesn't get to see what's going on the network, where under an SD-WAN model, actually, you can share with the customer what's really going on the network. So if users are having issues connecting to 365 or any other software as a service app, actually you can help them drill down and see really what's at the root of those issues, or make sure it's optimized so you don't get those issues in the first place.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think the approach that we've tried to take with SD-WAN is we've tried to almost elevate the conversation and talk about managed WAN. Yeah. And actually whether that is provided through SD-WAN or more traditional IPVPN, the way we're approaching it is we want to have that conversation with customers and understand what works right for which customers. And actually our focus is actually more on a hybrid solution because we think there's more use cases for it.
I mean, there are very many different origins and flavours of SD-WAN, and it's very topical right now. Everyone's talking about it. And I was going to ask, what differentiates them? What have you done differently? And I guess that's where you're going with that.
So we've spent quite a bit of time and energy choosing the right provider and looking at the right solution. Yeah. So we ran an RFI process. We had a whole number of different vendors that came into that, and we ran proof of concepts. And really throughout that process, we tried to keep the customer requirements and the use cases that we identified at the heart of what we were doing. And we've worked through. We considered whether it should be a hybrid or whether we go all SD-WAN or just stick with MPLS. We worked through all of that and decided hybrid for us is the preferred approach. We also looked at whether we should be integrating into our network or whether we should just be offering it as a pure overlay service. And again, we identified some real benefits of integrating into our network in terms of actually driving that value for customers. So yeah, we spent a lot of time, and we're already having conversations with lots of customers about it. We're starting to design solutions, and we're already implementing our first customers. So we're really happy with where we've got to.
So I think what will be interesting with that is, whilst we see the technology aspect of that, and you've got to be very careful about the technology choice you make for SD-WAN. But I'm thinking your customers, they won't really care about the technology that sits behind it. As far as they're concerned, they're buying a service from Zen.
Yeah.
They'll want business issues addressed, opportunities addressed. So the technology is important, I guess, because you need to make sure you can deliver. But a customer's going to see Zen first and forefront in your service model.
Yeah, that's right. I think I do agree with that. I think the only sort of slight caveat I'd say is I think the roadmap from the sort of the vendor is important, which obviously is partly our roadmap, but it's also the vendors that we're working with.
Just jump in here and say beautifully from our first guest to James here. You have Versa. Versa was your choice of vendor.
Yeah.
So can I ask, and probably what you weave into your conversation, why you chose Versa? What were the...
So as I said, we went through quite a long process of choosing vendors. We liked the Versa solution from the start, really. We liked the fact that it was built sort of bottom up with security in mind, because obviously that's one of the key factors in this. So security was important. It was multi-tenanted from the start, and it was very scalable. And actually the real thing though that we liked was it helped us, we could see a direct way of adding the value that I talked about before. Like I say, our customers are expecting us to add more value, and actually the way the Versa solution is built, it gives us that capability to add that value to customers.
So you've got the confidence now that whatever the requirements are that come up with your existing or new customers, whatever that business case or use case is, you've got a technology platform that's going to enable that, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. You've built something which will...
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because the market's obviously evolving and the technology's still evolving. But yeah, for now, we've done a lot of work looking at customer requirements, and we can pretty much tick those customer requirements from the solution that we're developing.
Cool. So slightly loaded question, perhaps, James. But how important is the role of a systems integrator like Axians?
Yeah, it's just slightly loaded. It's important, I think.
I'll put some context there. We were talking to Chris earlier, and he was saying that role has changed very much over the past 12 months. So I'm sort of joshing with you a little bit.
Yeah,
I think it has changed. There's more value now in a systems integrator perhaps being involved than there was 12, 18 months ago.
Yeah, it's definitely, working with you guys has definitely helped us, both in terms of choosing the provider, but also in bringing that provider to market. And I don't just mean in terms of the technology, but I mean in terms of the go-to-market as well. I think it's really useful for service providers like ourselves to work with providers that have experience of bringing the technology to market with other service providers. It helps speed to market, but it also helps with the effectiveness of the solution we're offering. So so far I think it's been good.
Well, and it's been interesting as well, because I know you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work from your perspective on looking at data and looking at the market and looking at use cases. So you've really thought about your business proposition here, haven't you? That comes across strongly.
I think we saw that with the research you've done with Avon and other things, that you've really had gone sort of full tilt into interrogating and investigating issues to make sure that what the proposition you came up with was absolutely right for you, which sort of leads me on to another question about, is there a particular market opportunity that you're looking at, or a moment you just sort of taking a more general view of opportunity I'm thinking about
for SD1?
Yeah.
For SD1? I mean, I can talk a bit about the customer that we're working with, if you like.
Please
do. Generally, we see use cases across lots of different customer types. I think lots of customers are looking for more visibility of their solution. They're looking for more agility. They're also potentially looking for connectivity onto other service providers. So, for example, if a customer has made an acquisition and that acquisition has a networking contract in place with another provider, then actually SD-WAN gives you an opportunity to bring it into the wider secure network of the new expanded organisation. So we definitely see direct use cases like this coming through already. The customer that we're already working with they have about 50 to 60 UK sites. They've got about 12 international sites. And actually what we're doing with them is launching a hybrid solution. So we've got MPLS in the UK and SD-WAN on those international sites. And actually, when we worked through the use cases with them and what they were looking for, it was very clear that would give those benefits. Because really, they wanted to move away from a broadband-based network and drive their SLAs and the quality of service. And actually, this was a great way of doing it. The other thing they wanted was more value, as I said before, more value from their service provider. And SD-WAN's a great enabler for us to deliver that value.
So is that a new customer?
Yeah.
Was that a brand new customer that you've won because you'd enabled this proposition and you've got the solution that they needed?
Yeah, I mean, it was partly about the solution that we're offering, and also, as I said, that focus on service that we bring, and the experience that the more general networking experience that we've got. So there was a number of factors, but the solution was very clearly.
So presumably, if you are already implementing, it is available now to other customers, James?
It's available. Yeah, it's available. I mean, we're out there. We're actively designing solutions for other customers, and we're very open to talking to anyone that is interested in SD-WAN. Or actually, we'd rather have a conversation about managed WAN and talk about how SD-WAN fits in it. But if people want to just talk about SD-WAN, we have the capabilities now to deliver against that.
So I know you covered this right at the top of the show, but I'm a customer. I've just heard that and thinking, wow, that sounds like a really great opportunity. Why should I be talking with Zen?
Yeah, well, I could probably talk all afternoon on that.
I'm sure you could.
As I mentioned, we've got the service approach. I think we've got the right portfolio. I think we've got the right experience. I think we've got the right people. And actually, I think aside from all of that, we've got the right approach to, rather than coming with SD-WAN and saying, please buy this, we're looking to raise that conversation and talk about how we can help customers. And it might be SD-WAN, it might not be. But that approach for us works with lots of customers, and we get really great feedback based on that.
It's amazing how quickly 20 minutes can go, isn't it?
It is.
We are out of time. Final thoughts, Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pleasure working with Zen. We've got to know you well over the last couple of years, and so we've seen you grow, and actually seeing how a service provider takes a new service to market, because I think what we're seeing is that technology is one part of it, and I think traditionally service providers, networking companies are very good at building the technology. That's what they do. And if you look at the research and you compare cross-industry, actually high-tech high-tech suppliers and organisations are very good at building out the technology.
Yeah.
I think what we've seen you really concentrate on is actually building the use case for it and doing the marketing propositions and the sales enablement, because clearly if you're going to deliver this to your customers and you're really going to understand what they need, you've got a sales force and a marketing team and a pre-sales team that really need to be able to get under the covers of a customer and understand the problems that you're trying to solve. And it's been fascinating working with you seeing as you've gone through that journey over the last 6 months, getting ready to launch. So clearly it's been very well thought out and well executed.
I mean, it works for us, but I think it also works for our sales guys. You know, they want to have those sorts of conversations. So it's definitely, it's definitely resonating well across the organisation, but obviously with our customers as well. So it's great.
Thank you.
So to find out more about Zen, zen.co.uk, and of course you're on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, so we can find more about you there. Don't go away, we'll be right back soon. Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.